Greetings, Flow Jedis. Just grounding my feet today on the soil, and yeah, feeling really good, feeling really blessed. It's good to be here, man. Today I'm going to talk about how to keep your productivity alive in a social media age. And I'm a flow state specialist, so I help you feel your best and perform your best, okay? Man, I've been fucking fascinated with the flow state my entire life. And it's been something that I've been constantly refining, constantly diving into, finding the edges of myself, my character almost, because, flow state helps you transcend almost in a sense. It pulls you out from that lower state of being to a higher state of being, and that's what I want to talk about today. So understand that to get your flow state off the ground and running, you might have to use some of your ego. Now, as your ego, or your sense of self, let's call it, starts to form, you will start to lose that as you tap in. You will start to lose that sense of self more and more until you're completely absorbed in the task, and the fact that you are a watcher or a player in this video game is irrelevant at that point, because you're so immersed in what you're doing, okay? So let's say you have a task, you gotta do some homework. Already calling it homework sounds kind of lame, okay? Sounds kind of lame. I know we're supposed to do homework, right? However, if I was in your shoes, I would change that word around for homework. Make it something relevant to you. You see? The task that you're doing, make it something relevant to your own journey. Don't just, kind of come up with some random solution that's not going to be applicable. You want to find different ways in which you're tapping into that. So my advice would be to first encounter what it is that the task is, okay? Fully encounter it, meaning, you got to know what is involved in that task. Like, are you trying to win the science fair? Are you doing this homework to, pass your grades or whatever? Is this homework some kind of like a presentation where you have to actually get up and speak? If you create less resistance and less difference in your rehearsal time and play time, okay? Or go time, whatever you want to call it, right? So basically, another way of saying this is, if you are in the zone and you're prepping for the zone, you want to have very minimal differences, okay? Let's say you're doing it in an exam hall, you got to recreate that exam hall experience with yourself. You get that? Let's say you're doing some kind of CrossFit challenge, okay? You go to the gym and prep for it, right? Weeks before. You imagine as you're practicing that there's going to be judges, there's going to be commentators there. Let's say you're going to American Idol, right? I'm just giving random examples because I don't know how you tap into the zone, right? Let's say you're going on American Idol. You actually rehearse in front of the mirror as if you're talking to the judges, right? Or you have your parents pretend to be judges, or your friends pretend to be those judges. Sit down, actually get up and start rehearsing it as if it is already happening, okay? Now this is going to train your brain. It's going to train your experience to visualize and already predict certain circumstances, or maybe different surprises or different moments that might happen in the actual practice. So you got to consider that anything can happen, right? There could be a delay that happens. There could be like something that messes up. There could be that your time is cut short because they're like, oh, well, we'll bring on the next speaker. There could be a lot of these different things that you might have to consider, okay? But once you know, like, I can handle anything, right? That's the mindset. In an age of social media where you're heavily distracted and you're trying to be productive, you got to know what you're about. You got to know what you're about, okay? You got to know that I'm ready for anything, okay? I could take on the flying spaghetti monster from Pastafarianism, okay? It don't even matter, bro. Like, I'm ready, right? And that feeling of readiness, that feeling of preparation is going to set up that flow state activation, okay? So that feeling that, I've got it under control. I've got everything under control. There's nothing that can come in and interweave and kind of skew my plans, or like kind of jinx it or something like this. When you think of these things like, oh, I'm gonna jinx it, that's actually a mindset issue. Check it out. It just fell on my lap, okay? Not too sure what this is. Well, that's cool. So basically, you want to have an understanding that whenever I step into this flow state gateway, right, this transient portal, I understand and I know that I'm going to be fine in the end of this, okay? Now, I'd highly recommend this, okay, where you go on a little bit of a social media unfollowing spree, okay? Do this at least once a month. Like, I remove at least 10 people from my friend's account that I just don't resonate with, or they don't add any value to my life. You know, you got to think in terms of the value, okay, in terms of social media. There's certain people out there that you follow that are giving you inspiration, that are, you know, helping you influence others, that are giving you little tools and tweaks that you can use to actually enhance your life. But then there's some of them which is just like, you know, some hot girl lip syncing, like, no. It's like, cool, so what? Are you into flow state? You want to carry the sense of qualification without the accreditation, okay? This is a very, very powerful thing, man, because a lot of people, they chase the external rewards, right? Even I'm chasing it. Like, I'm trying to get myself ICF approved, and it's been like hella forever, right? Irregardless, you know, like, I'm going to keep moving towards that. So I realized that, well, I heard this from one of my clients the other day, and he was saying that, you know, gurus, the difference between teachers and gurus is the teacher does it for money. The guru never really does it for money. Like, he will give his teachings for free if he wants to, okay? Even then, like, you know, the rare few teachers that don't do it for money and they actually have some kind of like a mission or an aligned service, right? Some way that they're actually giving back or contributing to humanity. They're the rare breeds, right? I believe in the idea of being a RUGURU. What does that mean? Okay, because guru means dark to light. The RUGURU, okay, this idea that you have to go from light to dark to light again, okay? Yeah, I think it's a journey of us exploring hell, exploring the shadows, exploring uncertainty and fear and doubt and, you know, crippling insecurities and things like that. And once we deal with those shadows, we start to rise. It's like a slingshot effect in our life, right? Because we faced what we needed to face. We're not hiding. We're not like just sitting in the background, like kind of waiting as a bystander to let life happen to us, but we're actually activating it, right? Activating it, flow state, activating it. Like, you're building that momentum. You're getting up and you're allowing yourself to trust your physical body and what it needs to do, right? Right now, I needed to burp a little bit to digest my food. I'm gonna allow my body to do that. I'm not gonna hold back on my burp, bro. That's hella weird, right? You'll be like, okay, or whatever. Like, look, you gotta let the process of life happen. Obviously taking into account other people too, because sometimes we do get into a very deep flow state bubble that, you know, going to the bathroom ain't important, you know, pain ain't important. It's just the moment that's important. You get it? Like, right now, there's a little bunch of insects, you know, and by my feet, little flies flying around me. But again, it's like, that's a process of life, right? I expected that already by coming down here. There's gonna be insects. Obviously, I'm in nature, right? So if I start to focus in on, oh my gosh, there's a little fly buzzing over my head, it's so annoying, and like getting so petty about it, then of course, you're gonna get skewed from your flow state mission, bro. And this is exactly it. You're using social media as a way to be this kind of like annoying bug, right? That keeps sitting on you and shitting on you, okay? You gotta just let it go. You gotta go Buddha mode on this thing, right? You gotta go complete Buddha mode on this thing. Bro, let me tell you, sometimes in this life, you just gotta be like, leave me the fuck alone, right? Give me my space, give me my flow state dojo, somewhere where I can actually activate my skills rather than looking towards something else to get that hit of validation, right? Like, we use social media to get that hit of validation, to tell us that we're being enough or that we're cool, right? And there's a lot of people on social media who think that they're famous because they have a bunch of followers, but they're really not that famous, bro. It's like micro influencer, like what even is that, right, as a term? So it's like, I know that this is where the world is moving towards, and we need more conscious messages to spread on social media. So we got to understand, like, how do we speak that, right? I've recognized, man, that my content becomes better when I'm being real, when I'm being truthful, when I'm being honest. I'm being unapologetically and unequivocally me. Now, I do get inspired by characters, and I do get inspired by fantasy, as you can tell with the hair, right? So that is clear, right? But I'm not doing it to seek attention, though that might be part of my strategy, actually, subconsciously, huh? Ooh. Yeah, because people will always recognize me with this hair. It's like there's no hiding anymore, right? That's the whole point. I can tell you why we understand that social media is this. I can tell you why we think that social media is such a weird thing. Because if you go back, okay, back in time and look at something from your past on social media, you're always gonna cringe, okay? Go back to like 2011, right? Facebook or something. Right, it's gonna be completely disastrous. You're just gonna be like, what the hell did I post that for, right? And so that goes to show you that we actually expand and level up over time. So I think social media is actually a way to record our timeline, right? And I think we shouldn't be oversharing so much on social media. Like, no one gives a fuck about the meal that you're eating, bro. Like that, well, I understand as a chick you're doing that because you're saying, you know, subconsciously you're just saying, I'm well fed, you know what I mean? I'm healthy, I have a health indicator. It all comes down to that sexuality. I mean, overtly, people are doing OnlyFans nowadays, so that sexuality is bizarre. And it's gone to a point where you're like, what the fuck is even going on, right? Like an AI OnlyFans is getting, like, becoming a millionaire overnight and stuff like this. So, yeah, it's like the world is changing fast and we gotta adapt with the times to get our power back. And the Flow Jedis know how to do this. They know how to crystallize their time blocks, their flow state blocks in their calendar. They schedule something in way before, right? And they give themselves that maintenance of time. And you know, to all the atheists listening and watching this channel, I would tell you that if you don't believe in God, why do you check your watch all the time, right? If you don't believe in God, why do you check your watch all the time? Because that is God according to you, you see? It's giving you hope, like, oh, in the future, I'm gonna go to this place, or Tuesday, I'll do that, right? It makes you feel the same level of a feeling that someone who's religious understands, but you need this constant reassurance at times too. You need this check with yourself, right? I would rather get checks rather than blue checks. You get what I mean? Like, I don't care if, you know, I look cool. Once you're on your dharma, your clout becomes secondary, bro. How am I still winning with 2,000 subs on this channel? How am I still winning? You see, it's like, it's unbelievable, right? Someone might see my channel and be like, who is this guy? He has just a measly 2,000 subs and just won't subscribe, you know what I mean? But the real ones will. They'll come back for more. They'll actually seek me out, in fact. Like, a lot of people are like, let me come to Kolkata, do a Flow State Kolkata retreat where we can bring in people from all across the planet, right? And to be here and experience the bliss here, as well as, you know, I was thinking even doing one in the Himalayas. Like, there's no holds barred on this thing. You get what I mean? By the way, if you are interested in working with myself and my business partner, Ryan G, one-on-one, two-on-one, you know what I mean? Like, if you guys really need that healing, that replenishing energy, if you want to finally get this flow state thing handled, if you want to learn how to channel, if you want to learn how to, you know, engage your psychic senses, if you want to learn how to get out of your head and into your body again, if you want to learn how to, you know, communicate with the other side, we're going to help you, okay? Costa Rica, August is all about that. So if you are interested in that event, definitely shoot me a message. You're going to learn a fuck ton. I'm not just saying that just because to sell my product or whatever, but because I truly believe it. And just like Bali, it's gonna be another initiation, okay? Daily rebirths. I can already tell, bro. I can already tell. Hopefully this time it'll be more of a Ryan's type of girl, some Latinas rather than, you know, Bali was all skinny white girls, like my type of girls, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, irregardless. I mean, of course we don't do this thing for the women, but they come as a byproduct of us being savage shamans and priest beasts. So it is what it is. Let's get it. Thank you for listening so attentively, man. The fact that, you know, maybe you aren't, maybe you have like 1,000 different tabs open or whatever, you're just like playing this while cooking your little meal in your university dorm or whatever the fuck you're doing. But I do think that there is something so valuable and being able to attentively listen to something, man. And I think social media has taken us away from that active listening. We don't listen just with our ears, man. Active listening is about listening with all of the senses, okay? And once you can do that, especially on social media, like as I remember to make eye contact, right? And not look away from the camera, right? I do that sometimes where I'm just looking away and it looks like, you know, there's not really that deep rapport or that intimacy or that connection sometimes, you know? And yeah, man, it's important to just vibe like this and just talk to you guys and really be able to connect to my best self today. I'm really being able to connect to my best self today. It's going to be a powerful timeline shift. And yeah, if you're interested also in the Adepts program, definitely let me know about that, because then I'll add you to that group and you're going to get a lot of unreleased music that I haven't dropped on SoundCloud. Daily I'm dropping them, and you're going to get just so much more, you know, just a lot of mystical pathworking that might interest you. And if you're trying to get initiated, or if you want to get, if you feel like you need to have a connection with any of the flow state gods out there, any of the gods or goddesses out there, okay? By the way, there's lots of secrets, okay, coming out recently. You guys don't even know, right? I can't even reveal it on this channel. That's the thing, right? It's so occult that I can't really reveal it on this channel, because people will get, you know, maybe the wrong impression, or the people who haven't done the research, or, you know, so I have to give like a proper context when I do discuss all of these different things, right? And so join the Adepts program. It's the easiest way to work with me right now, okay? I'm gonna go all in on that. I'm giving those people the most value. So, you know, let's get on this. Get the ball rolling. You got this, bro. We're all gonna make it. Post.